Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN and the Core IndyCar Racing Series presented by Liquid Death Mountain Water. First race tonight here on this season, and this season is pretty much going to mirror the actual in real life IndyCar series, and hit pretty much all the same tracks as we go throughout the season. Going to be a good one, and going to be a good one here tonight for sure, as the track is looking mighty racy out there, and certainly not the easiest. And these cars, you get anywhere close to each other, it could be calamity real quick, and it could be a rough night. But these guys do have two faster pairs to work with, and we'll see how everything works out. As of right now, it's going to be everybody in one session. We are exactly at the cutoff right now. The way this season is going to work is on the ovals, with the exception of the Indy. I guess you want to consider the Indy 500 for this series. It's going to be only the top 22 are going to be in the first session. If we have more than 22, it's going to be a cutoff, and there'll be a second session that won't be broadcasted. But we are at 22 here tonight, and we are all going to be here in the same session. You're going to see 22 cars out there on the track here tonight as it goes right now. But in the meantime, I'll bring my other man in the booth here, Jimmy Covert, in here. And Jimmy, you've been watching these guys for a little bit. What's it look like out there?
Well, they're fast, they're quick, and the cars will destroy themselves when they hit the wall. So these guys need to practice patience. The draft is going to be strong. Uh, they're going to have to take their time getting in the pits so they don't wreck there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a pretty high learning curve for some people. So I think the spread is going to be unique tonight.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is going to be, like you said, patience. And the draft obviously works really well with these cars. They will be able to suck up to each other real easily. So you can use that to your advantage to try and pick up some spots, or you can maybe use it to your advantage and stretch out some fuel mileage, and maybe play some different strategies out here. As tonight it's going to be 150 laps here at the Texas Motor Speedway. So again, going to be a good one. See these guys out there qualifying right now. Right now, Mark Gonzalez is at the top of the boards with a 24.328. Still plenty of time left here in practice for these other guys to get it done. But in practice, I mean, you can go 2 wide, you can go 3 wide. You can even stuff these in 4 wide if you really have the cojones to do it. But again, this is your cup cars or truck cars or anything like that. You can't just, bump and bang on the sides of each other here. Even if you do it wheel to wheel, you could cause some serious damage. So, got to be really careful out there.
Yeah, I'm curious how Netco is going to treat us tonight, as that usually seems to be a factor with some of these open wheel cars and the speeds that they're running.
Yeah, again, two faster pairs here for these guys tonight. So, they'll be able to, let their hair down a little bit and get racy. But certainly, as soon as you use that first one, you gotta kind of tighten the belts a little bit and get a little smarter out there. But a lot to play for out there. Again, 22 guys that are going to be out there on the track right now. Only the top 18 get points, as the points breakdown is as follows. The winner will get 30 points. Second place will get 25, and then it goes down by 2 points for each position until you get to the last. I believe it's about 6 positions. Then it goes down by 1 point apiece. But again, only 18 guys gonna get points here tonight. So you get those last couple of positions. It could be a situation where you may be a few laps down, but you pick up a position or two. It could get you those 1 or 2 points that could help you out in the long run.
Yes, it definitely want to take advantage of everything that you can get out there.
This will be a 12 race schedule here for the season one. Again, pretty much mirroring the in real life IndyCar series, with next week being at Long Beach. Then we go to Barber and Indianapolis before there is a week off, which they're probably going to need it after that, as no matter how many guys show up there for Indy, everybody will make the field. Then back on July 11th, we'll be back on track at Detroit. Then Phoenix, Road America. There'll be a doubleheader at Iowa with twin 150 lap races there. Mid Ohio, WeatherTech, or I'm sorry, Worldwide Tech, and then finish up the season at WeatherTech Laguna Seca. So plenty of good mix here. Pretty much half and half between ovals and roads. So you'll get to see these cars in action at their finest, and get to see the the good old drafting and pack racing. Hopefully, clean racing here on the ovals, but then on the road courses, where you'll see some of the road course specialists shine as well. But just about finishing up with qualifying here. Again, still Mark Gonzalez at the top of the boards. Sahaj Padir in second right now, and Mark's brother, Ricky Gonzalez, right there in third place. So you see the times pretty close throughout the entire field out there. So, it's going to be close, tight battling, and you really just got to be smart.
Yeah, it's really no shocker there. Texas boys doing what they do best on their Texas track.
All right, just finishing up here with qualifying. So, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of the first race of the season here, qualifying results?
All right, so our lineup so far tonight will be Mark Gonzalez, obviously on the pole, with Pat here in second, Ricky Gonzalez in third, Kevin McCann in fourth, Dave Peplinsky in fifth, Matt Crockett in sixth, Paul Butler in seventh, Alex Carver Robbins in eighth, Kevin Foster in ninth, John Crane in 10th, Adam Jones in 11th, Paul Owens in 12th, Mason Smith in 13th, Dane Simpson in 14th, Abhi Vishwasam in 15th, Thaddeus Marshall in 16th, 17th will be Matthew Prentice, 18th will be Jonathan Cogswell, and let me get the rest of these guys. And the rest will be Tim Thompson in 19th, 20th Terry Jansen, 21st Trevon Wallace, and 22nd Craig Hawkins.
All right, so that is your field. Again, 22 strong here to start the first race of the season. Going to be interesting, and again, just going back to the format, if there's more than 22 guys at an oval, other than Indy, there's going to end up being 2 sessions. So here we got exactly 22. We got exactly what we want here. We're going to have everything to play out here for all these guys in session 1. But when it comes to the road courses, everybody is going to be involved, no matter how many guys show out there. Everybody is going to be in, and going to be certainly crazy there as well. But either way, we are ready to go here. 150 laps on tap. Pace car driving the field around here down the backstretch, and we got again Mark Gonzalez out there to lead these guys down into turn 1.
Yeah, they sure do look pretty coming down around the corners. So we'll see if these guys can get here coming out of going into 3. They'll be heading into 4 down the front stretch and taking the green. We are off. Mark Gonzalez takes the lead, heading into 1 as we're going to an accident before we even get there. It looks like they're in Bentwood with Kevin Foster. Because it looks like he brought the Delara out of the barn there. He looks like he just caught a little bit of grass, sending him sideways. And looks like he might have checked up there for... Who is that? Oh, that would be Dave Peplinsky.
Yeah, looks like Poplinski and Foster kind of mirroring each other here and catching the grass just a little bit and hooking it. So certainly not the way you want to start the season here for both these guys. Trying to to stay with the pack here on the start, but you clip that grass just a little bit, and you see it's barely clipping the grass as you see him coming into the green right now, and it was in the first little kink there that these guys caught the grass and took themselves out.
Yeah, just ever so slight too. Well, as these guys are getting their getting back together here, we got Mark Gonzalez on the lead with Ricky Gonzalez in second, and with Patier in third, and McCain in fourth. Crockett is now in fifth. Paul Butler's in sixth. Adam Jones is in seventh. Robbins is in eighth. Mason Smith in ninth. John Crane in 10th. Paul Owens in up to 11th. Dane Simpson 12th. Abhi Vishwavasan in 13th. Thaddeus Marshall 14th. Matthew Prentice in 15th. Jonathan Cogswell in 16th. Tim Thompson in 17th. Terry Jansen 18th. Trevon Wallace in 19th. Craig Hawkins in 20th. And Kevin Foster and Dave Pepolinski will be rounding out the back of the field.
All right, sorry about that, Jimmy. Just taking care of some adminning duties there, making sure these guys are on the same page. But yeah, I mean that's as quick as that can go wrong right there. You catch that grass, and you know right there's one fast repair down the tubes, and you really need to be careful. These things are very fragile. Especially when you hit the wall. I mean, obviously they're just going to fall apart, but you know, around each other, it can, you know, even just a little bump the wrong way with the front wing to the back of another car, and it can damage the front wing to the point where you may be able to get it repaired if it's under a caution or something like that, but under green, it may be just a little bit too long, and you're either going to have to, you know, serve that time in there, get it fixed, or you're going to be down on aero and possibly speed.
Yeah, just a little bit of damage with these things, you know, and makes a big difference. So obviously these guys just need to calm down just a little bit, make sure they hit their marks, and, you know, obviously not touch that grass.
It looks like we are getting ready to go back green here. Hopefully we actually get a green flag lap in here this time, as Mark Gonzalez is going to lead these guys back down to the start-finish line. On the outside, it is his brother Ricky Gonzalez, and then Padir, McCain, and or I'm sorry, McCann and Butler making up your top five, and Mark Gonzalez in the loud pedal. We are back green here at Texas Motor Speedway. See the cars filing out pretty nicely, and you see they stretch out pretty quickly, especially on the restart here once everybody gets up through the gears. But once they do, another big wreck in the back there. Once they do, they will be able to suck back up to each other and you know, make some moves and get some drafting in if we get some green flag laps here. Still, everybody getting their feet wet. You know, again, it's a brand new series, getting used to everybody driving around here, and you know, maybe getting used to how close you can drive, and just not working out for some of these guys right now.
Oh, yeah, John took a hard hit there. It looks like he just got. Oh, somebody else was involved in a wreck there. Who's that?
Yeah,
The
it looks like Adam
46.
Jones in the 46 also involved there. So we'll bring it back here. But again, you know, the 11 just looping it by himself. I'm not sure. There's some big contact right there for the 46 of Adam Jones. We'll see what happened on his. See if the grass bit him as well. But it looks like it was off of two, and yeah, just looks like the car just straight stepped out on him coming out of four or out of two. I'm sorry, and you know, maybe just a little bit of the change in the arrow and big hit, and that's exactly what happened to the 11 of John Crane as well. His happened on the outside, but yeah, the cars just unload a little bit coming out of two, and that's exactly what can happen right there.
Change that real quick. Yeah, these cars will step out on you. I was running them, you know, by myself a little bit, just kind of setting up a few of the cameras, and it just sometimes the car just did not want to hold down there, and it would come around on you, especially if you caught the apron. But I didn't get a chance to run around with traffic, so you know, it's a learning curve for a lot of these guys, and I think they'll figure it out here shortly. Obviously, they have to, or they'll just be out of fast repairs. But as Carl's pulling some double duties here, doing some admin work there. We still have Mark Gonzalez up in the lead with Ricky Gonzalez. Pad Years in third. Kevin McCann's in fourth. Crockett in fifth. Paul Butler in sixth. Mason Smith in seventh. Robbins in eighth. Paul Owens up to ninth. Thaddeus Marshall 10th. Dane Simpson 11th. Abhi Vishwavasan in 12th. Matthew Prentice in 13th. Tim Thompson 14th. Javon Wallace 15th. Jonathan Cogswell in 16th. Terry Jansen back in 17th. Kevin Foster up to 18th now. Adam Jones slides back to 19th with Dave Pepelinski in 20th. And we have Craig Hawkins and John Crane in the pits as John Crane is now 2 laps down.
And something like that this early, I don't think the laps down are going to matter too much as long as you don't go too many laps down. Obviously, the way these guys are driving, they're still, like I said, getting their feet wet and trying to get a feel for these cars and how they're going to run around each other. And you see, I mean, Adam Jones, not exactly a bad driver here in core altogether. He knows how to handle a car, and to see the car step out on him that easily. And same thing along with Crane, just getting done with 24-hour Le Mans, or at least the little bit that he got a chance to drive in there. Certainly knows how to handle a car as well, but it just gets a little aero upset coming off the corners, and it snaps on you. And these cars are very, very tough to save, as as soon as they make a move, you need to be ready absolutely right away, or you're not going to save it, and the wall is going to be your savior.
Yeah, and the wall is not going to save you very much, as it takes its toll and puts a little punishment on you. But we're just following around here with Matt Crockett that's up in fifth with one of our sponsors, Liquid Death. So got a good looking car there tonight. So hope Matt finishes well tonight, as he's currently sitting in fifth place.
All right, Jimmy, so getting ready to go back green here. Again, the Gonzalez brothers out there in front with Badir and McCann on the second row. Butler and Crockett making up that third row. So hopefully, again, these guys can get stretched out a little bit. Maybe get some racing in here, once they get used to how these cars are starting to feel. Hopefully it comes sooner than later. But again, we are 9 laps in on 150 lap race. So plenty of time here. Just need to kind of settle down, calm the emotions, and get this thing going.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they got about 30 laps or so on a set of tires. So, or not set of tires, on a gas tank. But Mark Gonzalez on the loud pedal, and away he goes.
Gonzalez is leading into turn 1 here. 2 by 2 behind him as everybody starts to kind of file in line. You see some passing already starting to happen. We'll see if everybody makes it through turn 2 this time.
There's another one.
And once again, not going to happen, as these guys are just really struggling getting off of turn 2 apparently. A lot of just cars getting upset with the aero the way it seems.
And that's Mason Smith, another driver that's got a lot of talent, and especially with the high downforce cars is it's what he prefers. So to see him wreck like that, I mean, looks like he just got down on the apron just a little bit too much there, Carl. When you do that, the car gets a little squirrely. You can catch it, but it looks like just a little too much gas, and still collecting it as he was coming out of the turn.
Yep, and unfortunately that turns him right up in front of, I believe,
Thaddeus Marshall.
Was it Thaddeus Marshall, the 87?
Yeah, no, behind Thaddeus Marshall.
The 079 and the 08. So Vishwavasan getting caught in that, and the 078 that is, or I'm sorry, 079 that is Alexander and Marvin Robbins. Both those guys getting involved in that, so that was a rough one there.
Yeah, definitely a rough one. I guess the name of the game right now is to survive, avoid the accidents, not hit the wall, and save them, repair them, quick repairs. These guys are definitely, obviously, with this being a new league, or a new, not league, but session or season here with the Indy cars. Core has, it's been a while since Core has actually done a series with the Indy cars, but we got a lot of new drivers out here, new faces. It takes a little time to get used to the way people drive, and hopefully things will settle down here in a little bit, and we'll get some green laps in, as we are 12 laps in out of 150.
Yeah, I think really what's surprising here is, I expected there to be some bumping and bang, and I figured there was going to be some accidents. I figured there was going to be some big ones, and very well could be yet, as we got plenty of race here left to go. But it seems like the track itself is the one doing all the biting right now. I mean, the turn two especially, these guys have yet to all get through turn two cleanly without somebody getting upset one way or another. That one completely on Mason Smith by clipping the apron, and if you clip the apron with these cars, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good day for you. So that's exactly what happened right there, and unfortunately, Carver Robbins and Vishavasham both getting tangled up in that with really nowhere to go. That's really a shame to see that early in the race here. But a lot of these guys, they're going to have to figure out one way or another that you only got 2 fast repairs. Again, you can't use them up within the first 20 laps and expect to be able to make it to the end of this race.
Nah, if you use them fast repairs up early, you're just you need to drive super cautiously, and there'd be no shame of hanging in the back and being a little bit slower than everybody else. Hopefully there for everybody to calm down.
Getting ready to line it up here again, as most likely there are 2 to go right now. Going to be 1 to go at the line, and still Gonzalez is up front. Ricky able to get past Mark before the caution came out on that one, so it's going to be Ricky Gonzalez bringing these guys to the green. And we'll see if he has a little bit better better luck leading this field, and hopefully everybody behind kind of just, again, falls in line and just gets nice and comfy out there and goes from there.
Well, right on board with Kevin McCann here as they start the race here. He'll be on the outside and starting in 4th place as the Gonzalez brothers start the next green flag session here.
So I guess the one thing that's good is a lot of these guys that started up front are still up front. The guys that have the speed are able to at least handle it and get through through turn 2, the treacherous turn 2. I didn't realize turn 2 was going to be this bad out here. I mean, this is the legacy version of Texas, and this is the version that they wanted to run. So. Kind of surprising that these guys are having this much trouble with it, but back on the loud pedal is Ricky Gonzalez. Mark Gonzalez following him, riding on board, as Jimmy said, with Kevin McCann right now, heading into turn 1, and see if these guys can finally make it out of turn 2 alive. See some of the guys just stepping out a little bit, but looking back through the field, don't want to jinx it. Not everybody's through there yet, but we are down the backstretch, green through 3 and 4 now. We'll see if these guys take a green flag lap, and that is the official first green flag lap of the IndyCar season here. So
that away, boys.
Now we can breathe maybe a little bit. I don't want to take deep breaths right now, but, but we are under green here. Mark Gonzalez back out to the lead. Ricky Gonzalez following with Padir right there in 3rd place. Everybody pretty much single file until you get back there to Dane Simpson, who's looking there on the inside, and a little bit different. Not sure if Dane had a chance to paint his car or not, or if for some reason training paints isn't working. But Jimmy, I'm seeing a blue car out there for Dane Simpson and not pink. Are we missing something here?
We are definitely not missing anything. I believe it was his nephew he allowed to choose the color of his car tonight, so blue it is.
All right, well, there it is, and you see on the track map here, you got the big group of guys up front right there, and then a bit of a gap back to Tim Thompson in the 05 and Dave Poplinski in the 846 back there as the guys starting to shuffle around here a little bit and maybe just starting to test the waters and see what kind of lines are working for them, as you see a good battle right here between Matt Prentice and Dane Simpson, as Prentice is going to get it down the inside.
Yeah, I mean, obviously got to pay attention to your mirrors and your relative really close because everything's so fast. These guys are hitting 215 miles an hour or so, and just a constant all out. So the closure rate is fast, and when somebody messes up, and you know, these cars are real fragile. So just kind of got to take your time and be real patient and run your lines, and you know, you'll get there, especially if running in these drafts.
It looks like the guys are starting to find two lines out there. The bottom line seems to be the preferred line right now for some of these faster guys, but certainly you can get it done on the outside as well. As right there you see Paul Owens, no stranger to try and make moves anywhere and anytime, as the guys are now coming past the 46 of Adam Jones, who was slow and coming back on the track right now. He's going to rejoin the field. He's back there in 21st, 4 laps down, but again, still plenty early. If we get a few more cautions, you can easily make those laps back up. But right now, still a good battle, still nice and tight racing all the way up here. Pretty much the top 10, 11 guys, as we got one a little loose, and that is going to be another caution off of turn 2.
Yeah, I couldn't quite catch him, but it looked like it was Thaddeus Marshall that was the one that was getting loose.
It looks like Marshall goes for the outside line and trying to make it work, but you see as he crosses over that seam, it's just a little bit of a transition right there, and just, you know, really upsetting the car. Gets down into the 98 of Prentice, and that's going to send him up into the wall. You see his wheel already broken. Luckily for the field, he hits the outside wall, spins down to the inside, and gets out of the way of everybody else. But a big hard hit, several big hard hits there for the 87 machine.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to coax it around the track, the bottom of the track still, but yeah, that machine definitely took a hit. These cars definitely crumble, and doesn't take much at all. But it looks like right now we currently have, with all the changing up front, we have Mr. Padilla currently leading the pack with Mark Gonzalez in second, Ricky Gonzalez in third, Paul Owens up in fourth place. That would make him, he moved up 8 positions so far, and Paul Butler in 5th position, round out your top 5.
So again, you know, not really guys getting into each other. Just once again, treacherous turn 2 is the one that is going to cause all the mayhem tonight, the way it seems, at least in the beginning here. And a little bit of surprise here. I mean, you know, we've been out there 24 laps. Granted, a lot of it's been under caution, but no takers yet from the you know, from the top guys out there. It looks like the top 8 still staying out there and electing not to pit. So, I mean, I don't know about you, Jimmy. That kind of surprises me a little bit. Again, not many green flag laps, but it's 24 laps into the race right now. You think these guys may be wanting to try and get some tires or just topping off on fuel.
You know, with all the you know, the incidents that are happening behind them, maybe they just don't want to right now. Maybe they're hoping that those guys will get it straightened out, and then it'll be safe for them to pit. So, you know, track position isn't a huge ordeal here, but maybe just, you know, where you start off in the field as the starts of the green flag sessions have just been a little chaotic right now, as these guys are still working out how to get this car on this track at full speed with you know, a group of other people.
Jimmy mentioned earlier, I mean, these guys aren't, you know, going Mazda MX-5 speeds around Texas here. These guys are hauling the mail at over 200 miles an hour. So, again, any tiny little mistake is amplified a ton. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of guys that, again, know how to handle the car. You know, not taking any shots towards anybody else, but the guys that have been involved so far have been, you know, guys that have been in core for a bit, and we've seen them handle the car, and we've seen them have good starts, good finishes, everything like that in between. But just really struggling with turn 2. Turn 2, and I guess the grass on the front stretch has claimed 2 victims as well. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, these cars are just so nimble and so aero dependent that you get a little bit of disturbance, whether it's from the air or from the seam on the track or from the grass, and it's going to be a wild ride, and it's going to be something that you might as well not even hang on to it. Just let go of the wheel and let Jesus take the wheel because it's going to be bad. But right now, not too bad for these guys that are up front in the top 10, pretty much hanging out there the entire race. New leader out there, third different leader, as Padir is now your leader out front. Mark Gonzalez in second, Ricky Gonzalez in third, Paul Owens in fourth. Then going back, we're looking at, I believe that is Kevin McCann on the inside in fifth, and Paul Butler on the outside in sixth.
Oh. Yeah, it's definitely been interesting so far. You know, we're gonna continue to talk about how nimble these cars are, but as nimble as they are, they just cannot take a beating. So, and like Carl was saying, where the mistakes are, they're amplified, tenfold. As these guys were just last week or 2 weeks ago, Monday, we're racing the Mazdas.
Yeah, certainly a different class of car here as we are back under green here, back on the lap pedal. Padir out there in front. Looks like Ricky Gonzalez is going to clear his brother Mark on the inside, and Mark's going to fall in line with Owens and McCann right behind. Dane Simpson making some moves up there. He's going to move up to sixth place. Paul Butler's going to fall back to seventh on that restart, but all while I'm speaking there, I almost forgot to watch if these guys were going to make it through turn two. They've already made it through the lap here. That's how quick it is around Texas. About 26-second lap times here. So, I mean, you blink and these guys are around the track. This is a 2.5-mile track, but these guys just eat it up that quick. See guys dance around a little bit here on the backstretch here as Tim Thompson looks for a way around, a bit of a slide. Good save there, good catch by Tim Thompson. That's probably the first save that we've seen all night, and again, it's not easy, but you got to be ready for it right away. So good job collecting that car. Look back up front here to Kevin McCann in fifth place, trying to look for a way around here, but Padir still leading these guys around.
Yeah, I think maybe at this point these guys are just kind of want to settle in and get some laps in, as they're not trying to push the car. I know that draft is strong, and it's able to pull you. And obviously it's going to make you aero tight entering the corner, and you got to be careful getting on the gas leaving.
I mean, you see these guys that have been up front the whole time. You see them even dancing off of turn two there a little bit. Not that easy, and again, it's all that aero, a little bit of a bump, and a big wreck right there on the front stretch. And that looked like it was turn four, and guys trying to get by, you got to whoa it up there. After Tim Thompson has the save, he ends up getting collected in that wreck right there, but that was a pretty big one, as it looked like Butler just got a little bit loose coming off the corner on the outside of Prentice, had to chase it up the track, clipped the wall, and that sent him right down across into Prentice and causing a pretty big one there.
Yeah, iRacing has done a pretty good job with the damage model. As you can see, the cars just kind of tumbling and falling apart in pieces. So definitely a small taste of kind of what happens, but if that happened in real life, you want to be able to take it in and just get her fixed, get her fast repaired. But we're able to do that here with this, with this simulation, and basically let these guys keep out and go back and try again.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, this track is wide. It's wide enough for for 2, 3, 4 wide racing, but when you got guys just racing for position at 200 miles an hour, again, any little mistake, it's going to send you into the wall. It's going to send you into somebody else, and unfortunately, that time it sent Butler into the inside, into Prentice, and caused a big calamity on the front stretch.
Yeah, it's definitely that one. Made for. We're gonna see a lot of accidents, this season, Carl, with these cars, and Some of them are going to be big, some of them are going to be loners, but that one there happened to take out, about 3 or 4 cars.
Well, this is certainly a good time to once again plug our sponsor for the season, Liquid Death Mountain Water. So make sure you stay refreshed and keep a cold one aside of you here and just sit back and relax. Luckily, you're not in the car and having to deal with everything that is going on out there with these guys. As you see, the Liquid Death sponsored car right there of Matt Crockett sitting in 7th place, and he's been just kind of hanging out the entire race here, as are most of these guys up front. That was probably the highest wreck that we've seen, as I believe that was a battle for about 7th place when it all kind of worked out. But Sahaj Padir still your leader out there, and still surprising that these guys are not grabbing pit lane. It looks like the top 8, or actually top 7, have yet to come down pit road. So we'll see how long these guys stay out. Pretty much everybody else everybody else in the field has pit at least once. Unfortunately, a lot of those guys pitting to do some repairs, whether it's fast repairs or just minor tweaks, but we'll see how everything shakes out. Still plenty of racing to go. Still over 100 laps to go here. Hopefully these guys get a nice little green flag run in here. And a lot of times that's what it takes. It just takes some of these guys to just shake the cobwebs off and, maybe kick some of the rust off for some guys that maybe haven't raced in a little bit. And, again, just get a feel for the car, get a feel for everybody else around. But, just because this is oval, just because it's, pretty much wide open racing, doesn't make it easy. I mean, it's just so difficult to get these cars around the track and put them exactly where you want to, when the car a lot of the times doesn't want to do what you want it to.
Yeah, I mean, they're fun, they're fast, they do turn, and it's a rush while you're in the cockpit, and it's just a hard feeling. And then when you just the slightest mistake, just amplified by the speed, and next thing you know, you lost control, or maybe somebody behind you just got a good run, and next thing you know, you're sideways, so they're trying to check up without wrecking, and it just becomes a big mess. So looks like the lights are off on the pace car, as these guys will go back 2 by 2, as Padier's in first, Ricky Gonzalez in second, Mark Gonzalez in third, Paul Owens in fourth, Dane Simpson's up into fifth, Kevin McCann in sixth, Matt Crockett, John Cogswell, Chavon Wallace, and Robbins will round out your top 10.
Yeah, so nice little bounce back, as Carver Robbins was involved in the previous wreck. So clearly the fast repair helping him getting back up here in the standings. So we'll see how everything works out here, as these guys are going to get ready to go green once more. Going to be taking lap 36 as we start. And just making sure everybody is clear out there. But yeah, so we are going to be ready to go here. Badir going to be leading these guys back to the green one more time. He is your control car. He is your leader. He's been leading out there for a little bit now, trying to keep those Gonzalez brothers behind him, as well as Paul Owens there in fourth. Padir holding these guys up a little bit, and now he is on the loud pedal. We are back racing here at Texas Motor Speedway. A good launch by the inside line there, and Mark Gonzalez able to clear his brother Ricky as they head down into turn 1. Settling back into single file racing until you get back there to 8th place at Jonathan Cogswell, hanging out there on the outside with Matt Crockett on the inside. And you see Crockett just, kind of settling in, just talking to the guys here in the chat and telling them, just everybody just got to settle down a little bit. Let's get some run in here. And that's exactly what's got to happen.
Yeah, they definitely have to settle down and just kind of learn this car a little bit, especially if they're not used to driving it. This is a free league that we run and put on, and we broadcast here on CRN to so they can go back and watch it and enjoy, and maybe see some of the moves they made, or share it with their family, and see how well they can do.
Change for the lead once again, as Mark Gonzalez back to the points. Badir hung out there on that second line, and we'll see how long he can just kind of hang out there and make it work, as everybody trying to shuffle him back further and further, as he is now slipping back to 4th place. Gonna possibly get eaten up here by 5th place. You see again, these cars just dancing a little bit off the corners, and a little touch of the grass there by Owens, and that's got to be an oh poop moment there. As
That was definitely
we'll keep it
quick.
clean for Mr. Owens there, but he looks to make another move there and smartly backs out a little bit as they're starting to get a little bit racy up here at the front.
Yeah, you can see how fast Owens was able to close on Padir, and it was right on his bumper, and I think he thought about a move there for a second, but he, left off and definitely was the better of the choice as he falls back in line and maintains his 5th position.
I almost feel like this is the Mazda series all over again, where these guys just don't understand the word patience, as you still see guys shuffling around as Padir makes a great pass on the outside of 3 and 4, moving himself back up into 3rd place around Kevin McCann. Now looking to the outside of Ricky Gonzalez. He has found something that's working there on that outside. Got to watch dancing around that seam, though. We've seen that trap some people already. As you see him stuck now behind Mark Gonzalez, as for a brief moment there, I thought Owens was going to try and take a look on the extreme high side, but he backs out of it. These guys still dancing around quite a bit in the front here, and it's just going to take one mistake once again to take out a big group of guys here. As you see, Owens just getting real close and really testy out there.
He's definitely dancing, looking for that spot, looking for somebody to make a mistake and try to capitalize on it. But, we're only 42 laps into this 150 lap race, so, you kind of want to take your time. Don't be too anxious to get there. The spots will come to you. So, just keep hanging in there and run your line, as it looks like, who was that? Cogswell? Yeah, I think it was Jonathan Cogswell. Just got down to the apron just a little bit and was able to maintain control.
Yeah, these guys do get a bonus point for leading a lap, but no bonus points for leading the most laps. So it's a situation where, get up there, go ahead and lead your lap, get your bonus point, and then just kind of fall back and just relax a little bit and let the race come to you. But these guys are still all grouped together. The top 8 right now, all in a pack of their own. The top 5, you could throw a blanket over them. Top 6, 7, I don't know. Everybody's up there, and they're all real grouped close together, about a half a second off of each other.
Yeah, don't blink. That's all I gotta say about that. Don't blink. These guys.
46 possibly involved in another wreck coming off of turn 4. See him going a little bit slow, and there is a big one on the backstretch.
That's
going to be another caution right there.
Not quite sure who that was.
Involving Padir, one of the guys that we've had up front here pretty much the entire race. We'll take a look back and see what the cause of that one was. But that was a big, massive wreck onto the inside, as he's still trying to limp that thing around back to pit lane.
I got Adam, but I did not catch Padir on the incident report.
Yeah, we'll certainly have to rewind that back, maybe from Padir's vantage point, and see what exactly happened. As you see right there, big damage. As I'm not sure if he's got his arm out the window holding that wheel up there. I don't know what's exactly holding that wheel onto there. So we'll go ahead and just have to do this manually for a second back here and see exactly what happened on that backstretch. But I just seen him take a hard left-hand turn into the inside, and might not have been anybody again. It might have been our friend at turn 2. As I don't see anybody getting to the inside unless the 033 of McCann gets the inside, but I don't think he's there. It looks like Padir is maybe just going to take a left-hand turn right across his nose. And oof. Yeah, that is a big wreck. You hate to see it.
You definitely hate to see it.
You hate to see it. I mean, just a big, nasty wreck right there. Again, he's been up there pretty much the entire race and has led a bunch of these laps, but it just caught him badly out of 2.
Yeah, it looks like these guys might be thinking about coming down pit lane, or they did go down pit lane. Let me see here. Let's pull up our pit report here. See if any of these leaders have come in yet. It looks like Robbins is the earliest one, or the latest one that was in, and is now sitting in 3rd place. He was in on lap 24, and Cogswell was in on lap 23. But Simpson, Gonzalez, the other Gonzalez, McCann, Owens, and Crockett still have not pit. Looks like Dane Simpson and a few others will be coming in.
And it could be one of those cases where Dane just kind of stayed out just to get that lap led, and now he's going to top off, fall back in the field a little bit, and you know, this is one of those races where you feel like you almost got to predict how the rest of the race is going to go from here. I mean, you need to figure out, you know, how many more cautions is this thing going to be? Where do I need to be? Obviously, track position is big for the restarts and to make sure you're out of any kind of potential carnage. But with this draft, I mean, you can be back there, you know, where Padir is right now, back there in 11th place, and still be able to work your way up through the field, possibly pretty quickly. So, you know, still nowhere close to go time. You know, we're still over 100 laps to go, just about coming to it very soon here. But again, you know, strategy-wise, you may need to start thinking about what needs to happen for the rest of the race, as you've seen these guys now with these cautions be able to stretch this thing out to 46 laps, 47 laps before they're coming into the pits. Now, if they get green and you know, they start drafting each other, or maybe they let somebody out there, you know, stay in the lead and pull them around, it could be a lot of different strategies playing out here. But we're gonna have to see that happen first.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to do something. It'll be, you know, with the amount of cautions and stuff. I was, you know, as you know, this is a 150 lap race, but you know, we do have a time limit as we set for the session. So, you know, they gotta start watching that too. So make sure they get green and can finish this thing under green, and you know, get all their laps in, and not, you know, have this race cut short because of you know, not being able to control the car tonight.
So that was our sixth caution, and that's going to bring the field to single file restarts for the rest of the race. And that's just to kind of hopefully attempt to clean up the at least the starts of the race. I mean, these guys have been starting pretty well lately, but you know, it just helps kind of stretch the field out a little bit more in hopes of less cautions and keeping a little bit more green for you guys. But if you guys get in their wave rounds there, we still have 14 guys on the lead lap with Thaddeus Marshall, Matt Prentice, Kevin Foster, your guys that are 1 lap down, Victor Vasham 3 laps down, Mason Smith 4, Poplinski 7. Looks like Adam Jones is out right now, 8 laps down, and then Tim Thompson back there 16 laps down. But we are getting ready to go back green here, as Mark Gonzalez is going to lead Alexander Carver Robbins back to the line. So waiting for him to go. He is on the loud pedal, stretching this thing out, trying to shake everybody off. Of course, he's not going to be able to do that, even if he had the best start in the world. You're going to be out there by yourself, and these guys are just going to slowly suck you back in and you know, get in line if they have to run you down. And that's exactly what they're doing. As you see, the field starting to bunch up. You already see a pass there for second and third places. Ricky Gonzalez falling back a little bit here. The guy's getting a little dancy again off of 4, and looks like the 846 may have been involved in something towards the back there. He's still going, so maybe just kind of letting everybody go past him. But out front, it is Mark Gonzalez, followed by Carver Robbins, McCann, and Gonzalez, your top 4. Paul Owens, Cogswell, Crane, and then Padir making his move up to 8th, followed by Crockett and Simpson rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and this is the biggest lead by the leader himself, as he's able to stretch it out. He's got a 0.4 second of a gap. Obviously, he's still within drafting range, you know, these guys, so they should be able to pull up on him. But if they continue to battle, more likely he's not gonna. He'll still lose that gap. So as they close them down, like in a lap, so half a second back and already on the tail of the leader. So that's how strong that draft is tonight.
The 96 having some issues on the turn 3 and turn 4. Dane Simpson having some issues. You've seen Matt Prentice just coming back off a pit lane. Right there you see Dane Simpson trying to make it into pit lane, his tire wobbling. So he had some trouble by himself as a single car. Still going around here, and still a good pack here out front as they have run down Mark Gonzalez. McCann now in second, looking to finally lead his first lap as he's going to look to the outside. Ricky Gonzalez is going to sneak up the inside, though, trap McCann out there, and it's the Gonzalez brothers once again, 1-2.
Ooh, you see a little squirrel by there, Paul Owens, and he caught that? That was
Yep,
close.
and again touching the grass there. He's flirting with danger.
Oh,
And a big spin there on the backstretch. And that was by our leader, Mark Gonzalez. So it doesn't matter where you're at in this field, it can catch you just that quickly. And that looked like it possibly could have been lingering from turn two again. We may have to give another EOL to turn two after that one. As you see how close these guys are to the apron, and you see right there Gonzalez getting down, getting that wheel down below the apron, already sideways. You may not see it, but he can feel it right now, and his brother Ricky can see it as he goes by. Big wreck down under the inside, huge, and unfortunately, right behind him,
that was
that
Padir.
is Padir once again getting involved, and that's could be. Yeah, that's going to be his second fast repair being used right there. So that is a shame. We'll see it coming off of turn two here. See what happened to him if it was just something where he got off the gas and the back end just got loose as he's seeing the wreck happen in front of him. See him coming up on the back of Crane pretty hard there, and actually gets into the wall a little bit, and that's what sends him down to the inside. Big wreck for Padilla right there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he was running up front and has led a few laps tonight. But as of right now, we have Ricky Gonzalez, Paul Owens, Kevin McCann, Robbins, Jonathan Cogswell, John Crane, Matt Crockett, Paul Butler, Terry Jansen, Javon Wallace round your top 10, then Craig Hawkins, Thaddeus Marshall are the last two in a lead lap, so that gives us 12 cars currently on a lead lap with Kevin Foster, Mark Gonzalez 1 lap down, Matthew Prentice and 2 laps down, Avi Vishavasam and Dane Simpson are 3 laps down. Mason Smith is 4 laps down, Dave Peplinski 7 laps down, Tim Thompson 16 laps down, and Adam Jones is out, and Pedier is currently in pit lane. So if he's still in pit lane, maybe he already took both his fast repairs, so he might be in there for a while, Carl.
Be ashamed to see that because these cars don't exactly get fixed that quick. If it's something bodywork damage, if they damage a wing, front wing or back wing, they can fix them pretty quickly. But if there's any kind of tire damage, which clearly there was plenty of damage there, it's going to be quite a long repair. But again, with all these caution laps and things like that, you don't just want to throw this race away because you could potentially be fighting right now. He's sitting in 18th place. He could be fighting for at least a point or two that could help him down the line.
Yeah, and you can see, Paul Butler got in an incident earlier, and, he was a lap down. He's currently on the lead lap, and currently sitting in 8th, so working his way back up slowly but surely, but I think he's trying to keep it safe and just stay out of trouble.
Yeah, that's certainly the name of the game right now is avoid trouble at all costs and try and figure out a way to get around this track without having to drive around turn two. I think is the biggest thing is, again, turn two has been the cause of, I would say, probably 5 of the 7 cautions so far. Just guys getting loose and getting involved in wrecks. Luckily, most of them have been, kind of single car wrecks, but we've certainly seen a couple bigger ones here. But hopefully we get things straightened out here. It is Ricky Gonzalez on the points, Paul Owens in second place, Kevin McCann third, Carver Robbins fourth, and Cogswell finishing out your top 5 right now. So while we have a moment, we will discuss something that obviously we haven't done in this series yet, and that is the little giveaway that we've been doing here for CRN, and that is for our subscription drive here. So just to give you guys a rundown, if you are subscribed to CRN, you are eligible for the contest, and what we're going to be doing is every CRN broadcast by myself and Jimmy or by Dylan and his compadres, they are going to be doing the same thing as us, where we either give a word or a number or a little trivia question, and that's going to happen on every single CRN broadcast all the way through the month of June. and you guys need to save your answers until the end of June, and then mail them in, or not mail them in, email them in to myself at coreracingleague.com. Again, we'll give you more details in the race here to come, and we'll give you the trivia question as well. But we're getting ready to go back to green. Going to be completing lap 59, starting lap 60 here. Ricky Gonzalez back on the lap pedal. We're back green in Texas.
And Ricky's able to, get that hole shot and get out there clean. That clean air out front is probably where you want to be, as the car handles the best. But that draft just pulls these guys right up and gives them that chance to pass, as Paul Owens looks to the inside, heading into turn 3.
Just like McCann behind them, both looking for their first lap lead of the race. And we're going to see it right now, as Owens going to lead that lap right there. We'll see if McCann tries to get his lap lead as well, but they're going to follow in single file for the top 5 as we head through 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, McCann looks to the inside. Doesn't look like he has enough of a run, as Owens is going to come down, close the door for now. Gonzalez getting a little bit loose there coming off the corner, but able to collect it nicely, as looks like the group behind them is having a little bit of trouble, and I believe we are going to have another caution in the back. And that may involve a few guys.
That would be, I believe, started with Pepelinski, I believe. No. Who is that? Oops.
I believe that was possibly the 11 of Crane. But that was coming off of turn 4. I believe the main wreck happened going into turn 1, so that one kind of happened by itself right there, and that is the 05. But we'll see what happened going into turn 1.
Wow. These track positions that did not work for me. So there's all kind.
There was 87 of Thaddeus Marshall was involved in that for sure.
Let's see, where is he at here?
So we'll see the guys coming off of turn 4. Nothing, any kind of incident right there. It's certainly going to happen in front of Thaddeus Marshall the way it looks, as he was kind of in the tail end of this pack. And you already see a little bit of smoke up there, but it's still nothing. And right there, it looks like the 8 is the first one. So we'll have to take a look at the 8 and see if he was spun around or not, if he got in the wall by himself.
These things happen so fast. SDK has a hard time of actually catching what's going on, as you could take a ride on Thaddeus Marshall as he goes rolling and flipping here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's going to be, I believe, the first turtle that we've seen all night, as he lands on his lid.
Let's see. It's got to be, that was Thaddeus Marshall. Looks like the 88 kind of came up and hit the 8. Javon Wallace. Let's see who's the 88 is.
The 88 is Mark Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So that is going to be the first one on Mark Gonzalez, as he will be the one that takes out the 8 and causes that incident.
Yeah. So we're currently on lap 65. Kevin McCann has made it to the front with Paul Owens in second, Ricky Gonzalez in third, Robbins in fourth, Cogswell in fifth, Crane in sixth, Matt Crockett in seventh, and Paul Butler up to eighth, Trevon Wallace in ninth, and Craig Hawkins round out your top 10. But Craig Hawkins is down in the pits. Kevin Foster, one lap down. Terry Jansen, Matthew Prentice, all one lap down. That's 11th, 12th, and 13th. Pedier, Mark Gonzalez are 2 laps down in 14th and 15th. Thaddeus Marshall, Mason Smith, Avi Vishwavasan back in 16th, 17th, and 18th. So, getting back out there, getting back on the track. Pedier is made up to 14th, so not giving up is what you want to do, and just keep it going. So slowly making his way back towards the front, but obviously a couple laps down. But you never know. You find yourself in the right spot at the right time, you can get your lap back, or find yourself back in a lead lap. But currently there is 9 cars in the lead lap, as we are currently on lap 66.
Yeah, still not halfway here, so still plenty to go here, but time's starting to tick down, and the driver's just getting warned about that, and letting them know that if they want to complete this thing under 150, they need to start getting green here, and getting green pretty quickly, as you see the field getting ready to go back green. Kevin McCann going to lead the field down here, and hopefully they can get a nice green flag run in here. Still easily a chance to get this thing in, as again they're turning 26, 27 second lap time, so if they get a good green flag run in here, they'll certainly click off the laps pretty quickly. As you see guys diving just to kind of avoid some incidents there. Bit of a checkup there on the start. We'll see if everybody gets away clean. Looks like they will, but that was a recipe for disaster right there. Everybody getting through cleanly and back to green. Kevin McCann is going to be out there, followed by Paul Owens, as he tries to run him down and get that lead back. But yeah, I think this race is pretty much going to be survival of the fittest. It may not be the fastest guy that wins. It may just be the cleanest guy that wins, and maybe the guy that still has a faster pair left coming towards the end there. Or looks like we may have another one off of turn 4.
Looks
coming
like
down
Avi.
on the front stretch.
Yep, I think it was Avi.
As unfortunately, Terry Jansen there sitting in the grass. It looks like he's stuck in the grass as well. We'll see what brought out that caution. As the driver's coming off of turn 4, not sure if, looks like the 87 getting down on the apron, not sure if that slid him up there. And yes, it most certainly did. Up into the 08, just clipping him enough to get him spun around and causing a big one.
Yeah, these cars don't like the apron at all, especially on a partially, it's not flat. I mean, we're talking like, what I mean by not flat is that, it's not equal with the banking. So when when the cars catch down there, it unsettles the car and pushes them out. As Kevin McCain and Paul Butler stay out for a 1-2, and looks like everybody is starting to pit. So Ricky Gonzalez, Matt Crockett, Robbins, Crane, all in the pits. Trevon Wallace. And everybody's starting to come out now because these pit stops are really quick.
Yeah, a lot of the field getting shaken up right now under this green flag. That one being the second on Thaddeus Marshall, but it looks like he doesn't have any more faster pairs to even take to stay in the race, so he is going to be out of the session. And it's getting to the point where some of these guys they're out of the race, they're going to have less points to start the season than the guys that missed tonight. Obviously, missing tonight, you're not going to have a provisional taken because points only paying down to 18th. But these guys like Thaddeus Marshall, that being his second caused caution, he's going to start the season with -5 points. So that's beyond how bad you want to start the season. It's bad enough maybe finishing towards the back and not getting any points. You're getting very little points, but when you're starting the season with negative points, that's got to be a rough one.
Yeah, I mean, with all the cautions and stuff, you know, the pit strategy I think is going to come into play a little bit. But Kevin Foster has made it back on the lead lap, so Kevin McCann, Paul Butler, Paul Owens, Ricky Gonzalez, Alexander Robbins, John Crane, Jonathan Cogswell, Matthew Crockett, Kevin Foster, and Trevon Wallace round out your top 10. Those are the guys that are on the lead lap. So next people up that are one lap down is Matthew Prentice up to 11th now, and Craig Hawkins in 12th. So you know, one more caution, and Matthew Prentice will be back on the lead lap. So good on him for keep on trucking and you know, possibly get himself a top 10 tonight, if not higher.
Same thing with two of our guys that led a bunch of laps in the beginning with Padilla and Mark Gonzalez back there, 13th to 14th. Those guys, I believe, were down there maybe 4 or more laps down, and both of those guys now only 2 laps down. So you see that it can be reeled back in here. You know, not all hope is lost, you know, being down that many laps, and unfortunately, that's due to the you know, the issues on the track, and this is exactly why we you know, we want to try and cap it. You know, even at 22 here, it seems like it may be just a little bit too much. But again, a lot of the a lot of the issues here are, you know, the track just catching these guys up, mainly out of turn 2. But you know, it really seems like 90% of the cautions have been either the car getting a little bit loose out of 2 or guys clipping the apron. So it's just, you need to be on your toes. You need to be focused 100% of the time. These cars don't have any kind of wiggle room, because as soon as you wiggle, you're gone.
Yeah, it takes someone special to be able to catch some of these, you know, wiggles like that, as you can see them darting back and forth when they're just going down the straightaway.
So getting ready to go back green here once again. McCann is going to bring these guys down. He's going to start these guys up at the top of the track. And you see it's not exactly a cool track right now, 116 degrees, 117 degrees. And it certainly doesn't make this racing any easier. So we'll try and see if we can cool these things down for later in the year. But we're getting ready to go back green here as the field starts to bunch up. Waiting on McCann. He will get on the loud pedal. Butler will try and chase him back down with the other Paul Owens right behind him, followed by Ricky Gonzalez and Carver Robbins rounding out your top 5. Dancing around the backstretch here. The guys heading down into turn 3 and 4. Still pretty much single file. A couple little battles going on here and there, and you know, it's that quick that battles can happen and then go back to settling in. But looks like Lieutenant Crockett doing what he's been doing most of the race. He's not going to be the one that's involved in the battles. He's going to try and fall in line and let these guys just run around the track here. I see the 80 having some issues. Greg Hawkins limping around the backstretch there. He's trying to make it back to pit lane. Had some issues there on the restart, but these guys getting a little bit racy already, as Ricky Gonzalez sets a new fastest lap of the race up there in 4th place, as he's trying to run these guys down and reclaim that top spot. But looking on the outside, Paul Butler trying to make it around Kevin McCann to try and lead a lap here early in the season. But McCann is holding strong and holding steady on that inside. They are too wide, and they'll head too wide down into turn 1, getting very close there, as Butler is going to have to give him plenty of room and fall back in line in front of Ricky Gonzalez.
That wasn't a touch. I don't know how much closer they could have got on that one, Carl.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort, and I'm sitting all the way up here in the booth with you, Jimmy. But Paul Butler still not letting him go. He's going to be even closer side by side this time by going to give him a little bit wider of a berth that time into turn 1 and 2. And still not going to be able to stay alongside of him coming off of 2. But you see the field falling in line behind Butler. They're giving him plenty of drafting help going down the backstretch, but it's just not enough to get around McCann on the inside.
Yeah, that inside is really quick, and you really got to know how to use your gears in order to benefit and get around the guy in front of you.
Looks looks like John Crane coming into the pits as well. So I'm not sure if that's a scheduled pit stop or if he had some issues, but he is in the pits as
Ooh.
the battle still wages on. As that was certainly a touch right there. How the guys didn't lose it, no idea. But Owens getting into the side of Ricky Gonzalez there, that was an oh poop moment right there as well. Still battling, still trying to get around for the lead. Paul Butler looks like he has a little bit better of a run this time and has a nose alongside, but it's still not going to be enough. Paul Owens trying to help his fellow Paul out there get around him, but it's still McCann at the line. Still Butler on that outside trying to chase it around there. As he's going to pull a big move, slide down to the inside, and he does have the inside of McCann. But he has the inside of the apron as well. Great save there by Butler. That could have been really bad for the entire top five. He does save it. He does collect it. May need to change his shorts, but he's right back there in fifth and hanging with these guys.
Yeah, that was... Wow, that was a good save. Very good save. I thought he was going to bite it.
Yeah, that thing was all kinds of sideways, but he did a great job of saving it. Meanwhile, McCann now stretching it out a little bit until this field reels it back in. He's got about a lap and a half to breathe before they're right back on his tail, which they already are. Owens, now the Paul, that's going to be challenging him, and he's going to look to the outside. Maybe get a little bit of draft here and then try for the same move. He's going to go back to the outside and try and work his way around to get the lead.
Yeah, you definitely need to protect the inside because that's where they can get the run. You just don't quite carry the speed up top going around here at Texas.
Top five and a breakaway right now until you go about 4 more seconds back to Jonathan Cogswell back there in 6th. And he's in a little bit of pack right there with Matt Crockett and Trayvon Wallace as we have another car into the wall back there.
Who was that? Oh, that
was the 6 of Mason Smith. We'll see what happened on that one.
Looks like
he gets into the wall and then still trying to save it coming off the corner, gets in the wall again and just destroys the front end of that car. So again, turn 2 claiming yet another victim. But back out front, it is once again a 5-car battle as Paul Butler is back in looking for action as Owens getting a good run off the corner. He's going to dive to the inside. He's going to stay off the apron. He is going to get to the lead. He's going to bring Ricky Gonzalez along with him. We'll see if these guys hang on very close to the wall there by McCann. He's going to fall back there to 4th and all the way back there to 5th now as Carver Robbins gets around him as well. New leader up at front is going to be Paul Owens. Ricky Gonzalez in 2nd, Paul Butler drafting around the outside. Once again, Butler, usually the man to find on the high side. He likes running that high side. He feels like he's nice and safe and clean up there, but he's going to dive it down low. Get behind Ricky Gonzalez here and try and get around Owens.
Yeah, like I said, that high side just does not seem to want to carry the speed that the inside is. You know, and if you can get a run on the guy in front of you and get below him, you know, it's a pretty good chance you're going to get by.
Ricky Gonzalez now out there at the front, and a big wiggle there by the 77 again.
Nice
Another absolute great save. And you don't want to do that too many times. You're tempting fate there. But we are going to have another caution on the backstretch. Looks like it's at least going to involve the 11 of John Crane as you see him limping on the inside there. As everybody else starts to get woed up here. Take you back and see what happened. And right there again, big wreck there. Crane getting way too much of that apron and coming up and getting way too much of the 05 of Tim Thompson. That was a big shot right there.
Yeah, it was a pretty nasty shot. And unfortunately, Tim was in the wrong spot at the right time. Yeah, just too much apron. These guys are just trying to get down to the bottom as much as possible, but you can see how the car just gets very unsettled and goes right to the wall. And nowhere for Tim Thompson to go and gets collected.
Now, again, that just comes back to what I said earlier. This track may be wide, but it just seems like these cars, when they wreck and they wash out, they all find the groove that you want to be in. And unfortunately, that's right where Tim Thompson was. So real shame to see that. And you know, we're losing cars here. We're dropping like flies, and eventually we're gonna have some green flag laps. We are up to 89 laps now, so getting a little closer to feeling like this thing is gonna get in. And I guess, you know, it's unfortunate to say, but the more car we lose, the better chance we have of that. But can't really say that too loudly because these guys in the top 5 on that last run were not exactly being friendly to each other.
No, that was some really, really good hard racing there. We had a bunch of green flags or green flag run there, and these guys were able to just kind of just battle it out and kind of see how these cars act. Being that close together and what they needed to do to possibly be able to get to the front to, maybe get a win.
Yeah, certainly win still in the cards for a lot of these guys out here. Top 9, the way it looks like, actually possibly even more now as some of these guys getting some waiver rounds and working their way back around here. But it looks like possibly the top 11, if I'm reading that correctly, on the lead lap yet, as the 88 of Mark Gonzalez stayed out there to try and get back on the lead lap. He is out there in front of this pack, and it looks like a few guys staying out there to try and get some laps led, or not laps led, but laps back, as the 98 of Dane Simpson right there behind him as well.
Yeah, Dane Simpson's 4 laps down, so if he gets waved around, obviously he'll be right there at the tail end. So we mark down as 3.
Mark is 1 lap down, so if he gets this one back here,
No,
should
I
get
was
back on the lead lap unless he was 2 laps down and now going to be 1. Still pacing around behind the pace car, still did not get the wave around. So we'll see how everything shakes out, but it's certainly been interesting so far as we're on that lap 91 right now.
Yeah, these guys have about 22 minutes left remaining, and I mean, it's very possible to get the majority of these laps, but it does look like this race is going to come to a close a little bit early.
It's a real shame to see. It's can't say I'm too shocked to see that being the first race. It's an oval. It's a big, wide oval, and everybody just wants to get racy. And I'd almost like to say I wish more of these were caused by the drivers themselves. You know, getting into each other, getting a little racy, but it's, again, a lot on the track and a lot of just kind of driver errors, just like that one right there with the 11 clip in the apron and unfortunately taking out the 05 as well. But, you know, these things happen, and it's going to kind of weed out this field and see who the strong ones are, see who the competitors are, be the ones that can survive for the rest of the session here and the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple wave buys, wave arounds here for a few of the drivers that are in front of the leader. As Ricky Gonzalez goes back to the point with Paul Owens in 2nd, Paul Butler in 3rd, Robbins in 4th, McCann in 5th, Cogswell in 6th, Matt Crockett in 7th, Kevin Foster up to 8th, Javon Wallace in 9th, and that will be your guys on the lead lap. And then you have Paddier is only 1 lap down now. Then Mark Gonzalez, Terry Jansen, Dane Simpson, John Crane, Matthew Prentice appears to be out. Mason Smith is out. Abhi Vishwavasan still out there, 4 laps down in 17th. Tim Thompson in 18th. And then Craig Hawkins, Thaddeus Marshall, Dave Pepelinski, and Adam Jones all out 19th to 22. So Abhi Vishwavasan and Tim Thompson, as they are back out there and slow. You know, Tim Thompson be the last guy to basically get some points, but with 2 guys out above him, you know, he's looking about picking up another 2 spots. So another couple points there for the towards the championship, as Ricky Gonzalez leads him on off to the green flag.
And speaking of Vishwavasan, I believe I heard an engine blow, and I see the 8 is slow at the back of the pack, so that could have been an issue where we may not see him after all, and Thompson may be able to pick up another position by getting past him. But out there in front is Ricky Gonzalez leading Paul Owens, as these guys rip around 3 and 4. Give you a good look right there of the entire field. Everybody just strung out single file right now and playing nice, and hopefully going to get a nice run in here and give this thing a chance of going full distance. little bit of a bunch up on the backstretch as Owens had a very close moment there, able to collect it, able to get back in line. He's going to fall back to 5th as he was trying to get around Ricky Gonzalez, but Gonzalez still at the point. Butler in 2nd, McCann now the man on the outside trying to make it happen. He's going to be able to get past Butler on the outside and set his sights on that later Ricky Gonzalez.
Yeah, those top 5 now have a little bit of company now as the rest of the guys in the lead lap are back on their tail.
Another move to the outside by McCann. He's going to try and go around the outside for the lead. He's going to be outside Ricky Gonzalez going through 1 and 2. Gonzalez trying to hold tight on that bottom, but McCann getting it done on the outside. Great move right there. Ricky going to move up there to try and get some draft and fall back in line. Cogswell making some nice moves, moving himself all the way up into 4th place now. Great job on the backstretch by Cogswell. He's going to move up into 4th. Start chasing down Butler. Man, it looked like that thing... is there a DRS zone in Texas? Because that thing just launched into turn 1.
Yeah, it was definitely a high closure rate as, you know, these guys are single file. But good job keeping it clean and not getting into each other.
Great job by the front. Looks like 8 guys right now, 9 of them on the lead lap, and everybody in file or in line, a single file right now. But you're just waiting for something to happen, as you know, it didn't seem like it's too long. But right there, you got a slow car on the backstretch. Just going to be the 08 of Aviva Shavashim, just trying to limp around right now, the way it seems. So did get that car fired back up, but it's certainly not fully under power, as it looks like Cogswell looking to try and pick off another one. He's going to try and go to the inside of Butler. Look like he clipped the apron a little bit. It's going to send him up, and he's going to have a tough time now as Owens is going to get around him on the outside. Still hanging on the inside, looking to try and get ahead of at least Owens for now, but he's not going to be able to clear. He's going to have to fall in line, but Owens is going to back off and fall in line with everybody else as they head down in turn 1. Big run now on the outside as Cogswell goes to the outside, round the outside a little bit longer, but a little bit faster. And he will get into 3rd place, still battling, but he'll have that good run and be able to clear the 77 into 3rd, as McCann's still out front with Gonzalez right behind him. But Cogswell has something to say about it, as he's still moving his way up there, still running that high line and still trying to pick people off.
Yeah, pretty much anybody in this top 9 can, you know, still win this race as they're trading back and forth. As you can see, almost a 3 wide there as they're heading in the 3.
We're finally under 50 to go this time by, as these guys are finally starting to click some laps off, and it's about time. I gotta say, it's certainly about time. And Cogswell is certainly thinking it's about time as well, as he is now making some moves. He is up into 2nd place. Owens looking to make the move around Ricky Gonzalez as well. He's going to get in there. Lap car of Vishuvasham going to stay to the inside. He's going to run it through the grass and onto the pit road. I don't think he minds getting a penalty there. He just wanted to get out of Dodge as quick as he could. This pack was coming up on him quick.
He's like, oh, I'm going to get out of here. He just disappeared down pit lane.
You see those times on the right-hand side. You see the time aside of Terry Jansen right there being in green. That means that is his fastest lap of the race. So you're still seeing guys set personal best. You're seeing guys, you know, not too long ago set the quickest laps of the race. So the time is starting to come down now. Not just in the session, but certainly by these guys as they're turning 24-second laps now. It is starting to be
somebody
go
on the
time
wall
here at Texas. Looks like the 05 having some issues again. He's going to be limping around through turn 3. But the battle up front still heating up. McCann still out front. Owens in 2nd. Ricky Gonzalez shuffled back to 3rd right now.
Oh boy.
It looks like we're having some some trouble here as we're getting shuffled back up. But a big move again by Paul Butler. Good save again as these guys are trying out all kinds of lines now through 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely keep trying out them different lines to see who can do what, and trying to looks like my live HUD's good, but it looks like what's on the track and you guys are seeing at home is up to date here, as I finally got it back up. Some just difficulty here with me seeing what's going on, but back on the track here with 43 laps to go.
And Jimmy, no stranger to computer issues, as he didn't exactly have the best weekend.
Let's not
We
talk
won't get
about
involved
those.
in any details. He's still got a box of Kleenex alongside, still crying about that, as is the rest of the team. But save my hands and save my sleep. I didn't have to get in the car. I guess maybe I should thank Jimmy for having some issues there. But so far so good here on this nice little run here by these guys. Again, starting to click off some good lap times and starting to click down these laps, getting closer to the finish here. As coming to the line here, we'll have 32 laps to go, and just that quickly, we're starting to find our way to the end here. It seemed like it was a never-ending story in the beginning here, but it's coming down now, and McCann is still your leader out front, looking to try and get another win here within a week, as he won on Friday night in the Cup Series here on CRN. Looking to try and get a second win in 4 or 5 days here, and start off another season on top of the points.
Yeah, he's definitely doing that as he's leading these guys around here, and some of these guys might be just biding their time and, letting the laps kind of click off, as, we only have 12 minutes remaining. We're at 110 laps. But as it looks like Ricky's going to go to the outside, or at least set him up, or try to set him up so he can maybe dive to the inside.
And that's what you're going to have to start doing right now if you're Ricky Gonzalez or any of the other guys following McCann. Start figuring out where your car feels good. Start figuring out where you can kind of start those launches, because it's going to be a process. It's going to be figuring out where you need to start hammering down, if you need to be in that second line, if you need to be a line and a half up, wherever it is, to start to get that good long draft and run coming off the corners to set that pass up, because you're going to have to know it pretty quickly here as we're getting towards the end. Still a three-car battle up front, as these guys are starting to stretch out a little bit from Cogswell in fourth, as it is McCann, Gonzalez, and Owens out front in the top three.
So you got a battle here of the top two, well, almost three, and then back in fourth, fifth, and sixth there with Jonathan Cogswell, Alexander Robbins, and Matt Crockett.
Another name we haven't talked about in a while, Kevin Foster. We call him the closer a lot of the times, and this is why you don't talk about him too much, and you maybe see him involved in some incidents, but he finds his way to the front when he needs to, and that's at the end of the race, and he is right there with Matt Crockett, as those guys are battling for 6th and 7th position, or maybe just kind of falling in line and working their way back to the front of this pack. But it's still it was a three-car battle. It's probably officially a five-car battle again, and 6th and 7th are hot on their heels, along with 8th and 9th right behind them as well.
Yeah, ninth place with Padier is one lap down, so he's obviously hoping that something happens here in the next 10 minutes so he can get himself back on the lead lap. But these guys running these clean laps and green laps, it might not happen.
You see Tim Thompson, just by staying out there, has moved all the way up into 14th position now. So a good job in just, kind of persevering and hanging out there long enough to get everything going and hang out there. But seeing the 072 now of Padier coming into the pits, and you wonder if these guys can make it to the end. I mean, we got 10 minutes to go and 24 laps. So you're kind of
it's close,
doing a
Carl.
bit of dance right now. It is
it's close.
certainly very close to see if these guys can get it done. And you need to figure out what kind of fuel you got in the tank as well, because you don't want to run out of fuel on time or on laps.
Yeah, like I said, the pit window was right around 30 laps, 30, 31, 32 laps, something like that, I believe, on a full green stint. So some of these guys may be laying back just a little bit, or just trying to draft. Maybe that's what Ricky's doing, just kind of drafting and using as little fuel as possible, but trying to maintain, pace and closure of Kevin McCann.
I mean, we just talked about him about 2 seconds ago. if anybody's got plenty of fuel in the tank, it is that number 8 machine of Kevin Foster, known for just being absolutely great on fuel mileage. And you see he pit with these guys on lap 89. A lot of these guys pitting on lap 89. So we'll see if that 89 pit is going to be enough to get him to the end. The 9 of Padir just coming in the pits again, what he left down, 2 laps down after the pit. He's certainly going to have enough fuel to get to the end, but he's going to be a couple laps short of being on the lead lap. So don't know if he's going to play into this yet unless we get a caution, but we'll see if these guys can make it on fuel, as it's going to be a pretty long run here. And you're still wondering, with 31 laps here to go, can we make it the distance? It's probably going to be short one way or another, but how short, not sure yet.
It's gonna be close, and I'm almost, unless my math is horribly wrong, 90 to 150, that's 60 laps. So these guys should be coming in here, well, I'm gonna say within the next 5-10 laps, Carl.
Kevin Foster making a move on Matt Crockett, getting to the inside. He's going to move up into 6th place right now. 3-car battle up front, as it's going to be McCann, Gonzalez, and Paul Owens as they stretch out a little bit from Cogswell and Carver Robbins. And then you have the Foster Crockett battle and Trayvon Wallace just kind of hanging back there as well. So who's saving? Who knows they have to pit? Do they all have to pit? Are we going to make it to 150? Are we going to make it to 140? This thing just got pretty interesting, Jimmy.
Yeah, just under 6.5 minutes, Carl. That's what we have left. 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, one way or another, it's going to be a heck of a finish. Hopefully these guys can just run this thing out and finish under green, and we'll see if pit stops come into play, as there's not going to be too many more laps to go. Wish we could figure out, how many more just by the time, but it's going to be a rough calculation either way. Top 2 now starting to stretch out just a little bit more from 3rd place Owens, so not sure if Owens is trying to just save a little bit and maybe save an extra lap out of these guys. And that's allowing the 19 of Cogswell to kind of close in a little bit, and he's pulling in Carver Robbins as well.
Yeah, these guys aren't too far behind each other. Obviously still within drafting distance. But yeah, it's going to be close, I think, Carl. I mean, we have 8 guys on a lead lap, and any one of those 8 can win depending on what their strategy is.
We're certainly not going to make it to the full race distance here with the lap times that they're doing. So it's going to be close. It's going to be close one way or another. And yeah, you'd hate to see guys running out of fuel and not making it to the end here, but you really got to be smart. I mean, we talked about strategy, possibly coming into play one way or another, and it could be strategy with the time running out and trying to figure out if you can limp this thing to the end. Who's out there saving fuel and who's out there just driving and trying to get as far as they can, as fast as they can. Top 2 certainly breaking away now, as McCann and Gonzalez are checking out. They're almost a full second ahead of Owens, as they're in a league of their own right now. Owens kind of by himself, just hanging out there in 3rd. Maybe just, by way of himself falling back there into the clutches of Cogswell and Carver Robbins, just by saving a little bit of fuel. Lap car of Dane Simpson on the inside there, as they're going to go around it pretty easily. And looks like Simpson's going to just fall down to the inside, let the rest of this lead pack go by. As a good, nice long run here to end this race. And, unfortunately, it took having 10 guys out of the race for that to happen, as we are down to 12 guys that are still out there on the track. And Tim Thompson's still out there, still trying to find a way to get past another guy. If he can somehow get another 6 laps in, he'll be able to maybe catch Mark Gonzalez yet by the end here. But we're down to 4 minutes left in this race. This thing went from a 150-lap race to a 1.5 hour, endurance race. And
pretty
much what it's been all night.
Yeah, I mean, it's the track. The track was biting them, and as the pack got a little bit thinner, the racing got a little more cleaner. I guess less people to avoid, or just being able to spread out a little bit. But right now, Kevin McCann's on a rip. You know, he's at lap 131. We have 3.5 minutes remaining, and kind of curious to see if these guys have the fuel to finish this thing out.
So we are closing in now on 3 minutes to go. Still 19 laps, but we're not going to make it the full distance. It's probably going to be closer to the 140 mark. And again, it's a long distance for these guys to go on this fuel. I'm guessing that the fuel mileage that Jimmy got was running by himself and not in the draft. And you see these guys dancing around, and not sure if that is the look of McCann coming into the pits. Nobody coming in this time, but that was certainly a little sketchy moment on the backstretch there. And it might have been McCann realizing that he's been out front a little bit too long and he's not going to make it too far on fuel, trying to let Gonzalez by, but Gonzalez didn't want any part of that at all. He wants to just run in the toe of that 033 right now, and so far it's working. So far these guys are still out there, and nobody's run out yet, as we are about 2.25 minutes left in this race now. And Paul Owens, the first one, not going to be able to make it. Looks like he had an incident, and he is slow and up on the track there. And that will be the caution. That may be the race right there. That was absolutely a shame.
Yeah, it just looks like he. I want to rewind that here. As SDK had a little time delay as he just only got sideways before he went off track. And it looks like he come down, he touched that grass. He was flirting with it all night, and finally it bit him in the butt. As the angry angel machine goes around. So right now these guys are wondering whether they should come in and get gas or not. But the top 8 right now that are currently on the lead lap are Kevin McCann, Ricky Gonzalez, Alexander Robbins, Kevin Foster, Jonathan Cogswell, Matt Crockett, Paul Owens, and Trevon Wallace. As Alexander Robbins comes into the pit lane, Jonathan Cogswell comes in pit lane, Paul Owens is down pit lane, leaving Kevin McCann at the lead with Ricky Gonzalez, Kevin Foster all the way up to 3rd place from he's up 6 positions. So good move by Kevin so far tonight. Matt Crockett currently in 4th, Trevon Wallace in 5th. Trevon Wallace is up 16 positions, so I think he's our biggest mover so far tonight if he were to finish in that position. And he is. He's currently the biggest mover of the night. And Trevon Wallace, having a nice, easy, steady race, and as he runs another leagues here, or other leagues or sessions with us in core in the 87. So no stranger being out front, but maybe something new to him running the Indy cars. But currently sitting in 5th place.
A bit of a shocker there for some of those guys coming into the pits there. I mean, unless they were really, really, really tight on fuel, I'm thinking some of those guys made an error not paying attention to the time that was left, as this thing is going to end. And we're going to see right there, Kevin McCann is going to be your winner, as I believe the checker flag should be coming out either this time or next time by, as time has officially run out on this race.
Yeah, it's definitely expired, and the lights are still on the car and on track, so I would imagine this would be a checkered finish here soon.
So it sounds like these guys have gotten the white flag, so this thing is just going to pace out and give them the checker flag this time by. And I mean, we talked about earlier being in the right place at the right time, and these guys have pretty much been running up front the entire way with McCann and Gonzalez, Ricky Gonzalez, that is. Kevin Foster, Matt Crockett, they both kind of just hung out and bided their time and played their part, and they come home with a 3rd and 4th. So great job right there. And it's a lot of guys got involved in incidents, and it's not a shocker. We kind of expected this to be a little rough, and we were expecting this to be have enough guys to run 2 different sessions, but we had all 22 out there tonight, and a good job by some of these guys. A little bit rough start to the season by some others, but it's going to be Kevin McCann getting it done there in the 033 here at Texas.
Yeah, and as these guys cross the finish line here, and we'll have the final race results here shortly. As obviously looks like Tim Thompson might have been just 2 laps short of being able to, pick up 2 more spots, but being the last car that was still out there, still running the laps, was able to come home, and it looks like a 14th.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to come up short and less. Yeah, it looks like everybody is taking the checker flag. I was going to say if he can go around one more time, he could get one more spot up there. But yeah, just those are the things that you like to see as as an admin, as an owner, as a fellow driver. It's not the easiest driving around there 27 laps down. Nobody wants to see that happen, but you stay out there. He picked up 4 positions just by staying out there, and that's what can help you out in the long run in the points.
Yeah, definitely helps in the long run, consistency and gaining points. And as you can see, like, anybody can win or lose, and tonight they had a little trouble with the track, not so much with each other. They pretty much stayed off each other all night, which I'm impressed, and it's good on the guys here. And it just kind of sucks that some of the guys had early incidents, but it's not like people that that haven't had problems with, that are have problems driving a car. You got fast people in the back: Thaddeus Marshall, Adam Jones, Mason Smith. A lot of them guys in the back are usually up towards the front on most races in the series. Oof.
Well, we ended up getting 138 of 150 laps in, and I guess we got to call that a win-win.
Yeah, it's definitely not a terrible start. I mean, having less cautions would have been better, but definitely it is the start. It is what it is. But Kevin McCann is your winner, with Ricky Gonzalez in second and Kevin Foster in third. Matt Crockett in fourth, Trevon Wallace in fifth. Sixth place, Alex Carver Robbins. Seventh place, Jonathan Cogswell. Eighth, Paul Owens. Ninth, Padier. 10th, Terry Jansen. 11th, Dane Simpson. 12th, Paul Butler. 13th, Mark Gonzalez. 14th, Tim Thompson. 15th, John Crane. 16, Matthew Prentice. 17, Abhi Vishnavasam. 18, Mason Smith. 19, Craig Hawkins. 20th, Thaddeus Marshall. 21st, Dave Pepolinski. And 22nd, Adam Jones.
All right, that's going to do it for the race here tonight. We'll bring in our top 3 now. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our 3rd place finisher here, Kevin Foster.
Hey, Kevin, it's Jimmy and Carl on the booth. Copy.
I got you, boys.
Hey, looks like you had a little bit of trouble earlier on the race, but coming down to the end, you doing your thing, just kind of hanging out and saving a little bit of fuel, moved you into that podium spot for a 3rd place finish tonight. So how was your race tonight?
Well, it started off really bad. I didn't get much practice in these cars, unfortunately, and kind of bit me there at the beginning. Just bid my time and used my tools inside of the car. And like you said, if we had some more time and all this would have went green to the end, everyone else would have had to pit. I wouldn't have had to pit though. I had enough fuel to make it the rest of the way. But it was a challenging race, and I learned a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely challenging, and learned a lot up here, as these cars are very fast paced. So catching some of the incidents was a bit on the more difficult side for me tonight, but definitely fun to watch. And hopefully you guys get some green flag racing in on the next track, and the future races to come as you guys continue to race around each other. But the good part about tonight was it wasn't the drivers that were getting into each other. It was the track taking out the drivers.
Yeah, definitely. Alpha turn two was really sketchy in the first, handful of laps. Coming off there, the car gets really loose coming off of there. My teammates helped me adjust this car a little bit. I'm unfamiliar with this car, but we're gonna learn and be there toward the end.
All right. I mean, like I said, good showing again. Congratulations on the P3, and give you this time to thank whoever's out there for you.
Thank you guys for putting it on. First IndyCar series here. Start P3. I'll take it. Thanks my beautiful wife downstairs. And unfortunately, we couldn't get this rust bucket in the victory lane this week. But we'll put her. We'll spray some water on her, get her out in the sun, and hopefully rust a little bit more for the next race.
Sounds good, Kevin. Again, congratulations. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you guys.
That was your third place finisher, Kevin Foster, bringing it home. And yeah, no shocker there that he had plenty of fuel left. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to show that as this thing ran out and finished under caution. But second place tonight, guy though, it's been up there in the field pretty much the entire race from start to finish, not having too many issues out there. Ricky, it looked like the car was a handful for a lot of the guys out there. You look like you were able to handle it pretty well and kind of put it wherever you wanted. But I gotta assume that you probably felt the same thing. You just were able to control a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the weight jacker helped out a lot. Just want to give a shout out to Paul Owens, Paul Butler, Kevin Foster, and my brother Mark Gonzalez. They're the ones that kind of coached me through this. This Indy car is a handful, especially in dirty air. So we just made a couple adjustments on the weight jacker, and she was a rocket ship. We just wanted to try to stay up front. This is a home race for me. I live about, I don't know, man, probably 30 miles from the track. So we have season tickets out there. So I always want to put a show on for the fans here in Texas.
Well, certainly, some home cooking was the answer tonight, as both you guys, yourself and Mark, were up there for a lot of the race. Mark getting caught up in a few incidents and sent him to the back, but able to bring it home in 12th for him. But what was kind of the difference between the two of you? Was it just being at the right spot at the right time and avoiding some of the incidents, or did you just kind of have a little bit better of a feel for the car in the long runs?
Yeah, track position this race was key. As you noticed, nothing really happened at the front. Everything happened behind us. So we knew if we had the track position and just be there at the end, we would have a shot. So me and Mark were trying to work together as well as Paul Butler and Paul Owens. We kind of had a little team going on just to help each other out as much as we could. Um, all of us led laps, which is always positive. So that helps us in the championship running. Not for me because I'm only running the ovals. I need to work on my road course racing before I can get out there in a league. But the car was great. I mean, the teammates we all worked well together. I felt like I needed that run to stay green so I could pass them. I had a shot on the inside. Um, I lifted. God knows, I don't know why I lifted. I think I was just afraid I was going to clip the apron and then take us both out. Um, but I wanted to win here so bad. Carl, you know how much this track means to me, how much this state means to me. So I wanted to come away with a victory, at least here in the home state.
Absolutely, and I know how much this victory would have meant to Paul Butler as well. Caps are gonna have to stay on the tequila tonight, as you'll only be able to bring it home in a second. But yeah, we were kind of wondering that up here in the booth. It looked like you had a move, but it almost looked like you backed off and were maybe still playing the fuel strategy game. So we weren't sure how close you guys were on fuel. If you were just hanging out back there and trying to draft and make sure you could make it longer than Kevin, was fuel ever going to be a concern if that thing stayed green and didn't come out with the yellow at the end?
Yeah, I probably would have had to pit with probably 3 or 4 laps to go. I was trying to save as much as I could. I went up on the fuel map to try to save it. And I was hoping he would just burn his right front up and his right rear the way that he was running that low line all the way around the track. I knew that if I just ran my line, that I could probably get around him, and we got a run off of two, heading down the back, and like I said, I backed out of it. I should have just kept my foot in it. He gave me plenty of room. Going back and looking at the replay, and we probably would end up one spot better in victory lane tonight.
Well, either way, a good start to the season. Compared to probably about 90% of the drivers out here, you got to be happy, especially with a second place. So we'll let you give some thanks and give a shout out to anybody that's watching out there.
I want to give a shout out. This is a Greg Ray throwback paint scheme. Greg Ray's from Plano, Texas, so I wanted to show him some homage as we ran here in Texas tonight. My parents were watching. I'm sorry I couldn't bring home a P1 for you. Ended up in P2. Wanted to bring it in victory lane. Thank the Young Warriors for everything that they do with their organization, and then Legacy Power for letting me be a sponsorship in another series. So big shout out to all these guys got Blue Food doing this. Jimmy and Carl, appreciate everything that you do for Core Racing. And we'll go out. We're not done racing this week yet. We still got a full week worth of racing. We got the trucks tomorrow night. So we're gonna go out and try to get one in those.
Well, hopefully we see you next week and you don't shy away from the road racing. Even though these cars are difficult here, this is certainly your best chance to get out there and run some road racing. You clearly have a lot of speed compared to some of these guys out there, and can maybe challenge for the title here. And with this being a free season, free league, it's definitely a good one to check it out. So either way, good job out there, good second place tonight, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, that was second place, Ricky Gonzalez. Now we'll bring in the winner here tonight. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take us through with Kevin McCann?
Hey, Kevin, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Copy.
Hey guys.
Hey, man, you put down some great laps tonight, and they were able to keep your car out front for the majority of it. Coming away with a P1. Again, congratulations. How about you give us a little rundown on how your race was tonight?
Yeah, thank you. It's a pretty good race for us there. I wasn't expecting to be in victory lane tonight, that's for sure. Don't have much experience on ovals and these things, but it was fun. It was fun once we got some green flag laps under our belt. I wasn't really sure what adjustments I was going to need to make to the car. I thought he would tighten up, but actually, I don't know if you guys noticed there's probably right before lap 100, I started to get crazy loose. So I had to back out of it a few times. So just collect myself. And I knew then what adjustments I needed to make as far as, to keep that car underneath me there in that whole final stint. And had really good even tire wear. I was able to run that low, narrow entry line, kind of blocking off the inside without burning up my right front. And I think that's what ultimately, got me the victory here tonight. Just keeping the tire wear down and keeping that clean air on the car.
Yeah, the clean air definitely does help, as being in dirty air kind of upsets the car. Obviously, the apron wasn't too fond of people going down there and trying to get as close as they could to it, as it collected a lot of your fellow racers out there. But definitely, you were able to keep it up there, protecting that bottom line and coming away with a win. So again, congratulations. Good to see you up here in the booth, and we'll give you this time to give any shout outs that you might have.
Yeah, just thank the guys that put on the league, Carl and everyone. Great group of racers. I'm happy to be out here and share the track with you guys. And appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast. And just special shout out there to Ricky for racing clean there toward the end. That was really fun.
And I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that, as well, as this is like his favorite track, as he only lives about 30 minutes from it. So he was really trying to get that win for his family here on the CRN, but you were able to keep it away from him for this week. So, again, congratulations on the P1, and we hope to see you back up here in the booth and in whatever series, or back here next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was your winner, Kevin McCann, the 033, doing a good job out here, leading a bunch of laps. Before we say goodnight to you guys, we will give you the trivia question for tonight, and that is going to be, who was the champion in Season 2 for the Vintage Cup Series? So go ahead and head over to the website, coreracingleague.com, start doing your research and see what it is, and lock that answer in and save it for the end of the month. Again, that is for the Core subscriber drawing that we're going to have at the end of the month here. But recapping this race here, Jimmy, again, it's tight with these cars. It may not be a tight, small, skinny track. It's pretty wide here at Texas, but only a couple lines here that you really want to run, and you're all over each other, and it may not be involving getting into guys causing the incidents, but because everybody is kind of right there in the same line, it throws the air off a little bit, and the track certainly had its teeth out here tonight.
Yeah, track definitely had teeth tonight, as a lot of individuals have come to know real quickly, you know, as their races were ended early. But to the guys that were out there and kept on going, and you know, even finishing on the lead lap, congratulations. You know, you guys did a great job. Just coming out and enjoying yourselves, and that's all part of it. So it was good to see everybody out there, and everybody that was watching. Again, thank you, and hope that you get the answer correct and able to win yourself either was it a free T-shirt or a free pint glass or something, Carl?
Yep, free T-shirt or pint glass if you're choosing for the winner, and the top 5 are gonna get a core sticker as well. So, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to all the guys. Looks like Chris, Zach, John, Brandon, KG, Barry, all out there, chiming in with the chat. We appreciate it. Hopefully, we get my mic turned up a little bit for next week or not even next week, for next race. For us, me and Jimmy, the next race is going to be on Thursday nights in the Vintage Cup Series, so make sure you tune into that one. But next CRN broadcast is going to be tomorrow night here with Dylan, and I believe it's Kevin is going to be in the booth with him. And they got the truck series, and those guys just had an absolute great start to the season with 85 laps on a hot Atlanta track with a bunch of cars out there, or should I say trucks. And they're going to be going to USA next week, or next race, which is going to be tomorrow night. That's going to be something that you want to tune into. It's going to be a little short track Saturday night on a Tuesday. So that's going to do it for us up here in the booth. Myself and Jimmy, we had fun. It was certainly a little down and dirty here, and Texas Motor Speedway will end up with the most X here tonight as they caused the most incidents. But it was a good one here for the guys that finished up front for sure. It's been fun. We will see you guys at the track.
Peace.